Buy or rent? It's a question many are asking, especially in today's shifting market. But the answer isn't really one size fits all. It's layered, personal, and shaped by timing, goals, and of course, lifestyle. In this video, I want to walk you through 3 real-world examples: a new construction home, a resale property, and a rental, all between 2,500 and 3,000 square feet, same school zone, same general size, but 3 very different paths. We'll look at the numbers, of course, mortgage versus rent, taxes, maintenance, equity, and flexibility. But we'll also zoom in and talk about the value beyond the math, what it means to plant roots, to have freedom, or to buy time. Because the truth is, smart decisions aren't just made in spreadsheets, they're made in context. And whether you're dreaming of home ownership or just trying to make the best choice for right now, my goal is to give you clear, honest feedback so you can move forward with confidence. Let's dive in. Hi guys, I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor here in Austin, Texas. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the Austin area, contact me. My contact information is in the description below. You can also set up a direct one-on-one video call with me so we can do an entire consultation. Also, before I begin this video, make sure to subscribe and click the notification button so you can be the first to be notified every time I do a video like this one. And then also, if you are watching this video from any other part of the US and are needing to buy or sell a home elsewhere but need help, contact me because I do have fantastic realtor partners all over the Americas who are ready, willing, and able to help. I think we can all agree that the cost of living across the US has gone up pretty significantly over the last few years. Groceries are more expensive, gas is more expensive in certain parts of the US, and of course the price of housing has gone up, especially in Austin. Something new that I'm having to learn how to navigate this year is that a lot of my clients that are wanting to buy a home are actually holding off to rent. The rental market in Austin, I feel like, is pretty strong, and there always seems to be a lot of demand. And I would say especially right now, because I think at a high level, renting a home seems more affordable than actually buying a home right now. Something that I thought would be really interesting to do would be to look at a neighborhood that is, I would say, pretty high demand, and it has a good amount of homeowners as well as renters. So for this video, I wanted to choose an area that was established, and like I said, has a good balance of renters versus homeowners. And I also wanted to choose the type of neighborhood that a lot of my clients would be buying a home in. A large majority of the clients that I work with are looking to buy homes in neighborhoods that are zoned for highly rated schools. Also, a lot of the clients that I work with are looking for homes on the north side of town because so many of them work in the big IT campuses like Apple, Samsung, and then Dell computers. So most of them tend to gravitate towards the northern suburbs. So for this video, I focused on a neighborhood zoned for Fern Bluff Elementary, which has a rating of 9 out of 10 according to greatschools.org. I also wanted to look for a home that was about 2,500 square feet to 3,000 square feet. And we landed on the Sauls Ranch neighborhood, which is located in North Austin. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It's super close to a ton of stuff to do. I'm personally a really big fan of the location. There's lots of parks and shopping and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're going to focus on today. I have 3 homes to look at. One is a rental home and 2 of them are homes that are for sale, but one is new construction and the other one is a resale home. So we're going to go over kind of what the numbers look like on each of those to see really what makes most sense. Okay, so let's take a look at the numbers. The first home that I want to talk about is actually a rental home in Sauls Ranch. The address is 2455 Soprano Way. Shout out to whoever is leasing that home. Let's take a look at some photos real quick. This is a beautiful home and this is very much the style of this area. So this one is 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a slight bit over 3,000 square feet. I believe it was built around 2021 or so, which would make sense because that's kind of when that community was being developed. This is, I would say, leaning more towards a higher end quality home, lots of space. Looks like there's lots of natural light, etc. All these wonderful things. Okay, so let's take a look at some numbers here. The monthly rent for this home is $3,400. I think something that's important to keep in mind when you're renting a home is that you don't just have your monthly rent that's due, you've got like your startup fees, if you will. So the application fees for this home are $65 for everyone over 18. There is also a pet deposit of $400. And then there's also pet rent of an extra $25 a month if you want to include your little pet in your home, which you should because our pets are family. Meh. Okay, admin fee, they're charging $100. I don't know what that's for. And then they are offering a 12 to 24 month lease. So we're gonna go over kind of both scenarios. Also, the deposit, which may or may not be refundable upon move out, usually is 1 month's rent. So we're gonna say $3,400 for your general deposit. So let's add up like the starter fees for this. Let's say there's 2 people over the age of 18 that are going to apply. So that's $65 per. Let's say you have a pup, so $400 for the pup. Okay, your $3,400 deposit, admin fee. Okay, so that portion of it comes out to $4,030, and that's just like the startup portion of it. So let's say you lease this home for 12 months, and let's say that you pay your rent on time, as you should, as a good tenant. Your total annual lease sum for a 1-year lease comes to $40,800. Now, let's say you live in this home for 2 years or 24 months. Personally, I hate moving. I also hate renting, but I would probably want a longer stay versus shorter, I think. I don't know, I haven't rented in a long time. But if you rent this home for 2 years, assuming that the rent doesn't go up, your total out of pocket to live in this rental home would be $81,600. And that is a lot of money to be giving to somebody else. So let's jump over to the resale home that we have on here, also on Soprano Way. So 2420 Soprano Way in Round Rock, Texas. Let's look at some photos of this home. I believe this one was also built in 2021. I could be wrong. Super pretty, really high ceilings, looks like lots of natural light. And the bonus, oh wow, those stairs are nice. Super pretty. Okay, let's fast forward. I wanna show you guys the backyard here because it has a little baby pool. And by little baby, I mean, that's probably like a grown pool. That is a mature pool that knows what it wants in life and knows how to have a good time. Anyway, really pretty. Oh, it's also got a Tesla power wall. That actually adds a lot of value. That's really cool. And it's got solar panels. This house is dope. Okay, so let's take a look at this and let's use realistic numbers. All right, so this home is listed at $840,000, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, just shy of 3,000 square feet. It was actually built in 2020. I said 21 earlier, and that was incorrect. I know that they have had a couple price drops since they put it on the market a few weeks ago. Let's assume we negotiate this one and we're able to get it for $815,000. Do not call me telling me to get you this house for $815,000. I don't know that I can actually negotiate that because I don't know the sellers, but the house is beautiful and has a lot of upgrades that I think are really worth it. Okay, so let's check it out. We are here on the mortgage calculator. I'm going to put $815,000 for our down payment. Let's do 10% because I think that's an amount that I see pretty consistently with a lot of home buyers. Interest rates, I'm going to change this to 6.7. That's kind of on the higher end, but I would rather be safe than sorry. 30-year loan. Property taxes are going to be probably around $12,000 a year. So let's put $12,000 a year. That's high. Your PMI, probably gonna be like 1/4 point. Annual insurance, with a pool, you're probably looking at about $2,500 a year. It could honestly be more. I don't know because insurance numbers are literally all over the place, but let's say $2,500 just to put a number there. And your monthly HOA fee is $80 a month for this community. Okay, let's calculate. That's high. Okay, so the monthly mortgage for this is going to be right around $6,000 a month for an $815,000 home. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty significant, I would say. So the cost of entry for the first year of owning this home is your $6,000 a month payment for 1 year, which comes to $72,000. The closing costs, we're assuming that you might have to pay for, maybe not in real life, which comes to $16,300. The total sum of money required for the first year of owning this home is $169,300, which is pretty steep to own a home. But it does have a lot of cool upgrades and a pool. So if you like to party, if you like to swim, that's the one. Now, one thing to keep in mind, of course, when you own property, your property is supposed to appreciate. If you're watching this video, you're probably pretty familiar with the Austin market. We had crazy appreciation from 2019 through 2022, and then it just kind of dipped down. Generally speaking, healthy home value appreciation is right around 7% a year. We are a little bit below that. I don't know exactly, but kind of what I'm seeing is around 4% a year if you buy in 24 or 25. So let's say that you buy this house for $815,000 and we assume that it's going to appreciate by about 4% for next year. It's going to go up about $32,000 in equity and the overall home value should be $847,000, give or take. Of course, we don't have a crystal ball. We don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I think those are honestly pretty safe and realistic numbers to go by. So assuming that you're gonna stay in the home for at least 5 years or hang on to it at least as a rental property, that's money that you will see again in the future if you choose to resell or refi. And before I jump into this next portion, I just want to remind you to subscribe and hit the notification button so you can be the first to be notified every time that I do a video like this one. If you're subscribing and you're watching and sharing these videos, that definitely helps me and it helps the algorithm get these videos in front of other folks like you that need this information. Also, it just helps me as a video creator to see what is most useful and what is most helpful. So let's continue. Okay, now we are gonna jump over to this new construction home that is also in the Saul's Ranch neighborhood in Round Rock. And I'm gonna share some numbers for this one as well, so you can really compare the numbers, period. We'll just leave it there. This home is brand new construction, so it really doesn't have a lot of photos and definitely not good photos, but at least it gives you an idea of what this neighborhood has to offer as far as new construction goes. So this home on Cardinal Lane, it's 2,400 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. They are asking $799,000. We'll call it $800,000. One of the things that's, I guess, really beneficial for you as a home buyer right now in Austin is that a lot of the builders have an excess or a surplus of inventory. So basically what that means is that a lot of these houses will sit on the market for a long time and the builder becomes a lot more motivated to make a deal. This can be in the way of a price reduction. It could also be that they do an interest rate buy down if you use their lender. They can also cover closing costs. If you're building a home from scratch, a lot of times they'll offer design incentives, etc. If you don't know what that means and you're actually curious about it, leave a comment and I'll be happy to explain that to you. So this home on Cardinal Lane in Saul's Ranch, like I mentioned, is listed for $800,000. So let's say we negotiate the price down to $780,000. We're gonna keep the down payment at 10% still. Let's assume that we can do an interest rate buy down through the builder. I'm going to be conservative here and I'm still gonna put 6% because it could still be a little bit higher, it could still be a little bit lower. Loan term for 30 years. Your property taxes are probably gonna be a little bit lower. We're probably looking at closer to $9,000 a year. One thing to keep in mind, that the tax rate in this community is really low. It's 1.7%. I think the average throughout Austin is close to around 2.5%. So that's really awesome that it's that low. Annual home insurance, let's keep it at around $2,500. However, your monthly HOA fee is $115. So based off of that, let's calculate what the payment would look like. Okay, so your monthly payment for this home is going to be, we'll say, closer to $5,500 a month. So let's run through these numbers. The monthly mortgage for this home is $5,500, give or take. So $5,500 times 12, and then let's add what your down payment would be, which is $7,800. So the total cost to own this home for the first year is going to be $144,000. I mean, it's still less than the previous resale home, of course, at nearly $170,000. But if we're looking at the rental, it's almost 3 times the cost to own your own home in this neighborhood than it would be to rent for at least 1 year. So to summarize, let's break this down really quickly so I can give you examples here on the screen of what it costs to live in these 3 different scenarios. So example number 1, let's say you end up renting this rental home for the first year. The total cost would be $40,800. Let's say you end up buying the new construction home. The total cost the first year, including your down payment and mortgage fees and all of that, you're looking at $144,000. And then lastly, the resale home with the solar panels and the Tesla Powerwall and the beautiful pool and hot tub, the cost of ownership for the first year would be $169,300. So to put it in perspective, at least in this example, renting a home would definitely be cheaper. Of course, that's not taking into account the equity that you would have. I always tell my clients when they're buying a home that you need to plan to hold on to this home for at least 5 years. Real estate is a long play. Austin is no longer the type of market where you can buy a home year 1 and year 3, expect to walk away with a massive earnings. Could we go back to that at some point? Possibly. I think it's going to be a while. There's a lot of things that would have to change. Of course, interest rates have to come down, and I've read multiple articles that that's probably not going to happen in 2025, and it might not happen until 2026. So we will see what happens there. But based off of this example alone, it looks like renting is going to be a lot more affordable. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted to give examples in neighborhoods that a lot of my clients actually buy homes in. Like I mentioned, school zoning is super important. Also, the location is super important. But I would be happy to do another video similar to this one in a different price point, maybe in a different part of town. So if that's something that would be interesting to you, please leave a comment and I will see if I can structure a video around that request. Anyway, y'all, if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the Austin area, contact me. My contact information is in the description below. And you can also set up a direct one-on-one video call with me and we can do a whole consultation to see how I can help you. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm Daphne Quay, your boss lady realtor. Till next time.